I don't know about you, but for me, video games are my way of taking a break from human society. Thus, I'm very disturbed by this trend that's happening in my games that says that everything's multiplayer now. And in fact, not just a multiplayer option, but this game is inherently multiplayer. This game is played online with other people as its primary function. And yes, not all games are like this, and you can play your single-player game still, but I'm noticing a trend more and more moving towards let's get people interacting with you in every game as much as possible. If nothing else, we're comparing your scores to people, and like you have to trade with other people for this or do that, and I don't want it really. I just not for me. My gaming time is my time for myself in my bubble, immersed in that world there. For me, like I'm taking a break from society, from everybody else, and I'm in an imaginary world where I'm the main character and I can deal with people that are scripted to like me and all of this shit, and it's good. It's my escape from reality, and it's great. It's like reading a book. You don't have to have multiplayer for reading a book. You get away from everything. And maybe a lot of people want this trend where you're doing multiplayer on pretty much everything, but it's not for me, and it's not for a lot of other gamers of more my generation that I've talked to, where yes, it's nice to have the choice to have multiplayer. It's nice to be able to do a versus mode or a shoot 'em up, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's nice to have that option, but what it is not nice to have is the game has no other option. It's like with Diablo 3 as a good example. We had a game that, until the third iteration, was known well for its multiplayer, but it was not required. The game was single player with a multiplayer too. And yes, Diablo 2 was built around the multiplayer with a single player option. But you know what? I had much more fun on the single player. I had much more time invested in it. And for me, that was the fun part. I messed around on the multiplayer, I did it for a while, but again, the lure of that game that to this day draws me back occasionally is the single player experience of just hack and slash, no thought fun. So, stop weeding out my single player campaign. Stop weeding out my ability to play games by myself on my terms. That's something I need from a game for it to be relaxing, is that it's not on a schedule, that it's whenever I want to step back into it, it's there. I don't have to meet up with these people at X time to do this quest or I missed it. Not for me. And also, as a budget gamer who lives out in the woods here, I don't exactly have this great internet that seems to be required for all these multiplayer games now. If I had that internet, I might maybe slightly enjoy it more, but I don't. My internet doesn't support that. If I tried to play like one of these new shooters or Diablo 3 or StarCraft 2 or something online, I'd be lagging that thing up really bad, and I would play it for all of like a day, and then my limited bandwidth is over. So, honestly, even if I wanted to be a part of your world, right, it's not a thing I can do right now. So, I guess the point here is I feel a little bit like the gaming industry wants to leave me in the dust. And in fact, wants to leave a lot of people who grew up on the single-player experience. They want to leave them behind. Either you join up with the multiplayer world, or stick with the games that work the way you want them to. I feel like there's room enough for all of us in this market, where you don't need to have us online and micro-paying and bilking us for cash and subscription fees, where we can just buy your damn game, play the damn game, and have fun. That's all I'm asking. Just something to think about. I don't exactly have this great internet that seems to be required for all these multiplayer games now. If I did that, cars would show up.
Well, then that means you do have it, so logic.